transition on to the NBA take rule. Now, what this is we get to see more dunks, ladies and gentlemen, more fast breaks. Does this make the game better? Because sometimes teams slow you down so that way you can't really score like that. And it's better for the slower teams, those old vets who just don't feel like running. Like, is this making the game better for you now?
Yeah, I think in crunch time, take fouls are important, personally. If I have the ability to stop a guy and not let him get a wide open layup or dunk when it's a 2-minute game, you know what I mean? I feel like those situations are probably what those fouls are really made for. You don't want to give up easy buckets, right? That's the idea. But I think over the last like 2 or 3 years, it had become like what you said, except they were young guys taking those fouls. You know what I mean? It won't vets just who didn't want to get up the court. It was young guys who were like, oh, I just turned the ball over. Let me smack this dude because I just made a mistake and I don't want to give up a point. You know what I mean? So then
You don't want to give up a point though. Like you're now saying this particular foul, like, which again, all fouls are trying to prevent you from scoring. Like every time I've ever fouled somebody, it was I'm trying to prevent someone from scoring. Right. So like, is it fair? Because again, it's a tactic. It's like it's the same thing with fouling Shaq to me, so that way he can't get an easy bucket and send him to the free throw line. It's another tactic. Like it's very similar.
No, I understand, but it's at the end of the day, basketball at that level is more so about the entertainment aspect, and because of how polarizing the 3-ball is, I feel like we weren't seeing guys dunk on those fast breaks as often unless a guy was able to pitch the ball up quick and then get a guy do something. But in terms of coast to coast action, that had died off a little bit. I feel like this is just a way to kind of bring it back. And I feel like too, guys are still kind of doing it. And it's weird now because referees are kind of taking it upon their discretion if they're going to call it a take foul or if they're going to just call it like, oh, he just reached. And there were enough people down the court that it wasn't really a take foul. You know what I mean? He wasn't really stopping.
They gave a take foul. I forget. I want to say it was like a Warriors game, but they gave a take foul where people were still down the court. So I'm like,
yeah, it's tough.
So now we're doing it like this. That's tough. Like that's because like if it was a clear path, all right, nobody's down the court. I get you.
Right.
We're down the court now, like that. And
yeah.
What? All right, I hear that. But you know, I understand why people do it. Again, it adds to the entertainment value.
Listen, and I know the take one was supposed to be a quick one, but we kind of got to talk about just real quick the carry and travel thing that the referees are trying to clamp down on now. Steve Kerr said before the game the other day when Jordan Poole got called for 3 travels in one game or 3 carries in one game, he said he got an email before the game that said that the NBA was going to be kind of keeping their eyes on it. He was like, but I don't check my email on game days. I ain't got no reason to. Everybody I need to talk to is in front of me. They're going to see me that day. You know what I mean? They're not sending me an email. They're going to see me that day. And he was like, but everybody in the league does it. Ja Morant quoted the video on Twitter and said everybody does it. I mean, people have YouTube reels of Ja Morant carrying the ball. Like it's an entire playlist.
But you got to clean up the game
the way that he does it.
You got to clean up the game. These are supposed to be professionals. And when we've seen, like again, LeBron James picking up the ball and walking from half court, like, yo, wait, what? Like nothing was called. That shows the younger generation, oh, what's a rule? Like you gotta clean up the rules. You gotta make a standard in place. So that's why when I bring up like the take foul, like, oh, is it fair? Is it right? Is it better? Is it bettering the NBA? I get why it is, but then at the same time too, it's like it's not fair. But I get you though.
You know, it'll never be we're never gonna make really more rules to benefit the defender. That's
I hate that. I hate that so much, bro. Like there needs to be rules in place to help out the defender to make the game better.
Yeah, but the defenders ain't. I mean, it's different for basketball, but you know, you look at football. The defenders aren't the guys who are like making the big bucks, and also they aren't the guys that people are really coming there to see. You know what I mean? Like, ain't no rules for Aaron Donald. ain't no rules for
people
Miles
come to see Aaron Donald though. Aaron Donald was literally a big reason why they won the Super Bowl. So I mean,
no, for sure. But he's not the one scoring the points, and that's kind of where it comes down to.
Yeah, although he can be, but we always focus on scoring, unfortunately.
Right.